Hi everyone, my name is Karen, this is my channel RatherBeReading, and today I'm bringing to you my September TBR. So I'm hoping to have another really great reading month in September. I have had really great reading months for like the last 3 or 4 months, which I'm really excited about. So we're going to go through all of the books that I'm hoping to read for September. I am also participating in the Hogwarts House Battles readathon this month. So it's too late to sign up. You had to sign up before the 1st of the month, but I will still leave a link down below to the Twitter page. I think that's the best place for you to find all the information. There is a pinned thread at the start of that lists all of the relevant information, but I also think it could be a good idea to follow the page so that if this is something you're interested in, you'd get alerts about when this maybe will take place in the future. So this readathon takes place for the entire month of September, and you basically sign up, and you sign up under your Hogwarts house, which for me is Hufflepuff. Go Hufflepuff. And you read books throughout the month, and you get points, basically just based on the pages that you read. There are class challenges, which are prompts based on the Hogwarts classes, similar kind of to the Newts. You know, that you get, there's one prompt per class, but there are prompts, and you get extra points if you fulfill prompts. There are also group classes, they're called, which are group reads that you can do, and you do get points for each. So you can do the one for your house, but you can also do the ones for Slytherin, Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, for all of them, and you get bonus points if you read any of those. I'm not going to be reading any of the group reads just because I don't have, like, they're all quite recent releases and I just don't have any of them like on hand to read, so I won't be reading any of those. There are also going to be weekly challenges that come out every week that you can take part in. I think there's going to be one for YouTube, one for Twitter, and one for Instagram. And if you do those within the week, then you get bonus points for those as well. I don't know what those challenges are going to be yet. I'm filming my TBR today on the 1st, but they go up on the 1st, but I'm a bit ahead in Australia, so they're not up yet. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to be doing those or not. It depends what they are. I might do some in some weeks, some not. It really just depends. So that'll be fun to see whether I end up taking part in that. But it's just a fun way. Like, for me, I like taking part in these readathons that take part over a whole month, and that I don't have to really mess around with my because I have pretty strict TBRs just generally, and so I don't take part in a lot of readathons because I can never get my TBR to fit into the prompts. But for ones like this, when it's over a whole month, and I can kind of, and I don't have to hit any of the class prompts, and the class prompts are pretty general as well, so I can just kind of do my own thing but still participate. That is my kind of readathon. So I just thought I'd mention that I am participating. I'm not going to be going through any of the challenges or anything in this video. Like, I haven't specifically picked out books for challenges. I'm just going to read my TBR, and if I happen to check off challenges and get bonus points, then cool. So that was long-winded intro. So let's jump straight in. I'm sorry if I just spat everywhere. I'm going to jump straight in. I will be starting off, as always, with my library books. I have 7 library books that are due to be returned this month. It's too many. Like, I'm not going to get through them. So I'm going to go through them quickly. So the first 2 were actually on my TBR last month and I didn't get to, so are officially overdue. So I need to get to these ASAP. So the first is How It Feels by Brendan Cow. This is one of the books that I checked out because I needed to read it for one of my goals. I assume I heard about this because this is by Brendan Cow, who's an Australian actor. I'm not clear exactly what this is about. It just says it's about an old friend, a best friend, a first love, and the dreamer, Neil, who connects them all. So there's 4 friends, and it says over the next 12 hours, their lives will change forever. So at first I thought that it was like a story told all in one day, but then the next paragraph begins, a decade later, 1 is dead, 1 is famous, and 2 are getting married, and the truth is about to erupt. So I presume it's about the 4 people looking back on this one night, like a decade earlier, that changed their lives and all of the secrets and stuff that came out of it. It honestly sounds like a book that would be up my alley, so I'm interested to read that one. We then have The Prisoner of Heaven by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. This is the 3rd book in the Cemetery of Forgotten Books trilogy, the first book being The Shadow of the Wind. And this is a sequel. So we had the first book, and then the second book was a prequel, and then this is actually a sequel from what I understand. It's set in 1957 in Barcelona. So excited because I really do enjoy Carlos Ruiz Zafón's writing. So excited. So those are the 2 that were on my TBR last month, and then these 5 are all ones that just happen to also be due in September. So first we have The Black Box by Michael Connolly. This is just the next book in the Harry Bosch series that I need to get to. This one looks really chunky. Like it looks like a real beast of a, but it's only just over 400 pages and like the margins are pretty big and all of that. So hopefully, I mean, I generally get through these pretty quickly. We then have the next classic that I have on my TBR, which is The House on the Strand by Daphne du Maurier. This is just the next Daphne du Maurier that I picked up randomly off the bookshelf because I really do enjoy Daphne du Maurier. I've had a quick skim of the synopsis and it seems to be about a new drug. Someone gets involved with this new drug that teleports them through time, which is really interesting. It sounds really different from the other stuff that I've read by Daphne du Maurier, so excited because I do love Daphne du Maurier. We then have Safe Haven by Nicholas Sparks. Haven't read a Nicholas Sparks book since high school. Have seen the movie of this, which I enjoyed, so interested to see. This is really, looks dense and long though. This book is, oh, it's not that long. It's like 380 pages, but I don't know, it just feels dense. We then have Embrace by Jessica Shervington. This is another one that I need to read for one of my goals. This is a YA contemporary. I believe it's about angels because it says on the back, all Violet wants is to be with Lincoln, but he has a secret that's so great it could tear them apart. Then there's Phoenix. He's intense and enigmatic, but always there for her. So, love triangle. Then it says, caught up in a battle between light and dark where angels seek vengeance and humans are warriors, Violet must decide how much she's willing to sacrifice and who to trust. So, it sounds like it's going to be kind of maybe really cheesy, like YA paranormal, but I'm sure it'll probably be fun even if it's not amazing. So, I've got that. And then the final book from the library this month I have is The Opposite of Everyone by Jocelyn Jackson. You guys know that Jocelyn Jackson is an author that I really like and I'm trying to read through her back catalogue. This one is about a woman who had a really close relationship with her mother growing up, but they had a very unconventional life. I think just kind of moving between place to place and not really settling down anywhere. And then something happens and the daughter, Paula, reveals something that ends up getting her mother put in prison. It's then years later, Paula is now an adult. She's got a more normal life. She's a divorce attorney. And she hasn't seen her mom in like 15 years. When someone turns up on her doorstep that brings everything back up about her mother, and she is basically trying to track down her mother to sort out issues from the past. You guys know I love me some issues from the past coming up to rear their ugly heads. So those are the library books. Jumping into the books from my physical TBR that I'm hoping to get to this month. So I read The Girl in 6E by A.R. Torr last month. It was the last book that I read in August. So I want to finish out that trilogy. So I've got the second and third books here. So the second book is Do Not Disturb. And the third is If You Dare. The first book is a thriller. It's about a woman who is a cam girl. That's how she makes her money on the internet, but she also has murderous tendencies, and she has purposely locked herself in her apartment and never leaves in order to avoid murdering someone. And does the cam girl stuff for money. That's how she earns her money. But she has a client who she starts to fear is involved in not great things with a young girl, and so she maybe is going to have to leave her apartment to sort that situation out. That's basically what the first book is about. So I've read that, and then these are the second two that I'm hoping to get to. And then basically the next thing that I'm planning to focus on for my TBR this month is to read the entire Under the Never Sky trilogy by Veronica Rossi. So that we have the first book, Under the Never Sky, the second book, Through the Evernight, and then the third book, Into the Still Blue. So if I'm being perfectly honest, I have forgotten what these are about. And in fact, the first one does not have, it's just got blurbs. It doesn't have a synopsis, so I can't even tell you what it's about. I know it's YA, sci-fi. It was very popular, kind of like circa, 2012 to 2014 type of time period. And I remember thinking that I was really going to love this when I heard people talking about it. I fear now that this is going to be similar to the Across the Universe trilogy, where it's YA sci-fi that I thought I was really going to like, and I'm going to end up being disappointed in. But I hope not. I hope I enjoy this. So keep your fingers crossed for me with that. So that's kind of the focus for my physical TBR this month. Now to jump into the ebooks that I'm hoping to get to this month. So I've got 2 Kindle backlist books. So the first of those is actually my current read, which is Dark Days Club by Alison Goodman. I just started this today. This is a YA historical paranormal kind of. It's I'm not too far into it yet. So it's about a girl who is living in the Regency era, and I believe she gets involved in some kind of demon hunting club. I'm not sure yet. Like I say, I've just started it today. I'm not very far through. Aoife from Fred Weasley Died Laughing really, really loves this trilogy, and I believe I bought this book on ebook several years ago when she first read the first book and was talking about it, and it was free on Kindle, and I purchased it. So I'm finally getting around to reading that, and I've already checked, and my library does have the second and third books in this trilogy. So if I like this first book, I'll be able to continue on from my library. And then the second Kindle backlist book. So this is really exciting time for me in my Kindle, is that I am actually finally getting to the stage on my Kindle, like backlist titles, like books that I've had on my Kindle for forever, of books though that I purchased intentionally, are books that I'd heard about and wanted to read, and so purchased them. We're not in that. A lot of my Kindle backlist books that I had been reading prior to this were, yes, books that I'd purchased, but it was in that time period when I first got my Kindle, and I was so excited to hear that, like to find out that there were free books on Amazon. And so I downloaded a lot of just like random free books that are like self-published and all of that. And so they weren't books that I'd heard about. It was literally just the excitement of, oh my God, this is free. Buy. And I bought a lot of crap, honestly. But I'm through most of that now, and I'm, like I said, I'm up to books that I intentionally purchased, which is really exciting. So the next one I have is All the Breaking Ways by Kerry Lonsdale. This is a book that my brother's girlfriend actually read a couple of years ago and mentioned to me that she really, really liked it, and then I saw it for cheap on Kindle, and so I bought it. And so this is I think it's like a women's fiction, but like with a touch of mystery. It's about a woman who we know has like fled her past for some reason, and she's now made a new life for herself when her past comes back up, you know, and it's all about us discovering what happened in her past and how it affects her future. Like I said, I love a bit of finding out past secrets in books. It's one of my favorite tropes, so I'm sure that'll be a good time. And then I also have one NetGalley book that is like my priority NetGalley book this month, which is Her Closest Friend by Claire Boyd. This is a thriller. It's about a woman who she is splitting up from her husband, and she's like, the synopsis basically says that she knows that she's going to need like support from her best friend, and she knows that her friend will have to support her because she knows her friend's dark secret. And so I'm like, oh, interesting. It seems like this is definitely going to play on like friendship themes and like toxic friendship, but like also with like dark twisted secrets. 100% up my alley. Really excited to get to that one. So those are the ebooks. To touch on quickly, the audiobooks, as I always say, these are just a couple of the ones, like the next ones that I know I'm going to be reading, because I typically do get through a lot of audiobooks in a month, but these are the next 3 that I have, like, are lined up on my phone right now, ready to go, that I know I'll be listening to. So the first one I have is The Water Cure by Sophie McIntosh. So this is a book that I believe was nominated for, I think it was the Women's Prize last year. I think that might have been the Women's Prize, or maybe, no, it might not have been the Women's Prize. It might have been the Man Booker. It was nominated for a prize. I'll put it on the screen. I'll confirm what it is. And as I've said quite recently on my channel, I often don't enjoy these type of literary prize type books because they just go over my head. But this one, even though a lot of the people that I've seen read it have given it very mediocre reviews, the premise does sound really interesting to me. It's described as being like a feminist dystopic, and it's basically about these 3 girls who are raised on an island by their father, and they're raised like away from men, like to be completely separate from men. However, one day their father goes missing, like the father just disappears, and then I think they become even more isolated from men, and it's just the 3 of them, and then one day men come to the island. I don't really know too much apart from that, but I said it does sound very interesting. I think it's supposed to be quite feminist, so I'm always down for a feminist read, so that'll be interesting. We then have Someone Like Me by M.R. Carey. So this is a horror thriller. It sounds very interesting. It's basically about this woman who says that it's someone that looks exactly like them who's like evil. I get the vibe that it's like so it says in the synopsis like alter ego, so it's like a split personality type story, that she's got this like evil split personality, kinda. I'm not sure. Like I say, evil split personality type of possibilities was enough to get me interested in that. So I've got that lined up. And then the last one that I have lined up is The Boy in the Striped Pajamas by John Boyne. I've been meaning to read this book for a really long time. I honestly think it's going to emotionally devastate me. This is a World War II fiction book about a little boy who is the son of like some kind of prominent Nazi who lives on site at one of the concentration camps, and he befriends a little boy on the other side of the fence, like in the concentration camp, but he's a little boy. I think they're supposed to be like 8 or 9 years old or something like that, and he doesn't know what's going on. Like, he doesn't understand what the concentration camp is, and he doesn't understand that this little boy is a Jew, and he makes friends with this boy like through the fence. Oh, I think this book's going to be emotionally devastating. I've heard amazing things about it over the years, so that is the third of the audiobooks that I definitely know I'm getting to this month. So that's it. Those other books are my TBR. Like I said, I am also participating in Hogwarts House Battles. I will be I will mention it probably in my recent reads video, kind of how I'm going, like what my points are maybe, but I will also probably be tweeting about it over on my Twitter. My Twitter is always mentioned down below, so feel free to follow me on Twitter if you don't already. But yeah, I would love to chat with you guys in the comments down below what you're reading in September, what your plans are you participating in any readathons? Do you struggle with fitting your TBR into readathons? I feel like this is more specific to me because I have very strict type of TBR and that's not the usual, but that's just who I am as a person. So yeah, I would love to chat in the comments down below. Please like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe if you want to see more from me. That is all I have for this video today. Bye guys.